So in this video, we'll be talking about how to sharpen your design taste. Currently, one of the biggest topics in the tech world right now, especially among product designers, UX designers, and software engineers, and people generally working on software products, is the concept of taste. Because right now it's easier to use AI to come up with designs, come up with products, come up with websites, apps, and all of that. But right now, the biggest differentiator for your product is incorporating design taste. And what is this design taste? The way I think of it, it is basically how you're able to make your design not just look good or feel good, but work accordingly. Because it doesn't make sense that your product looks really beautiful and then the user flow is just messed up. So in this video, I'll be showing you concepts around how to improve your design taste. And most importantly, I feel like now is the best time to improve your design education, especially to understand the basics at the basic level, because everything you learn at this stage will then be translated to whatever it is that you're building. When you understand the basic design principles, you're able to also transmit that into how you work. Okay, so before now, I used to always encourage my mentees and people that I have one-on-one calls with. I always encourage them to go outside, check out what other people are doing. There are so many platforms online with different works that people are sharing, not just awards like Dribble, Behance, Pinterest especially. I use that a whole lot, and you could also see that in one of my previous videos. Yeah, so the idea behind this is feeding your eyes on other designs, feeding your eyes on what other people are doing, and then in this way you're able to improve and build up on your mental library on what is good design or not. So the idea behind this video is that we stop reading theory and then we start seeing what works and training our eyes with deliberate practice. So again, starting from the beginning, the problem that we have right now is that when we talk about taste, everyone is talking about taste, but in theory it just feels abstract, and you could see designs and then you can't tell why the designs work. But the shift right now is that you should be able to train your eyes, and I would walk you through platforms that you can be able to use and do this to be able to spot better designs. And then in this video, we'll also go through basic principles of design, which is CRAP, contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. And then the next thing we will do is to look into how we can use Codex, ChatGPT desktop app, to annotate and to analyze designs. This way you can be able to tell not just, oh, this design looks good, but why is it good? First step is that we dive deep into the problem. So why does theory alone fail? When we just say rules like, oh, use more white space, or it means nothing until you've applied it. And constant switching of context, or you read an article or you look for examples, but trying to connect all of this together might be problems for a lot of people. And when you create designs or when you create stuff, there's no way to test it visually and with UX incorporated so that you could see if what you're doing, if it can be better. So the first thing I wanted to show you is this platform called Can't Unsee. And the URL is cantunsee.space. I'll be pasting that in the description and in the comments, so make sure you check it out there. So basically, this platform, you will be able to look into designs and see what works and what doesn't work. And it made it in a kind of a visual way. So let's just play it so that you can see what I'm talking about. So for example, we have some designs here on the left and on the right, and then which design is the most correct? I think it's this one. I click next, and then it gives me another example. And you see I'm earning coins for everything that I got right. And then for this second one, which design is the most correct? The best thing I like about this platform is that training your eyes to see consistency, to see things that are off, to see things that are not looking the way they should be. So I strongly recommend playing with this platform because it would help to train down your eye for design. So this second example here, so I think this one is much more better because the second chatbot here is much more, has a more consistent border radius with this first chat, and that is what is found on this second screenshot. So I choose this and I go next, and I got that right. So here again, which design is most correct? So here, when you now look, the border radiuses is the same, but now we have a lot of white space on the right here. So I think this one is a better option. So, playing with this, as you keep going, the difficulty keeps getting higher and higher. But again, when you spend a couple of minutes a day playing with this, you're able to train your eye for design. The next thing we want to look at is some basic design principles. And why I brought this up is that it's really important to know the basics of some design principles. This way you can see things that are off and you can already tell why they are off. So for this, there's this article, I'll be pasting the link. So there's this article, I'll be pasting the link to this article on the chat. So basically, this article is a kind of a summary of a book by Robin Williams. And the title of this book is the Non-Designer's Design Book. And the idea behind this book is to teach anyone at all some of the basic principles of design. And this way you're able to get better at seeing what works and what doesn't work. Yeah. So if we look at the concept of proximity, literally states that items closely related should be grouped together. So when you see this design here, this is like a business complimentary card, and there's some information here. And already by default, there's different information here, and you can't tell which is more important or not, and you can't tell which items are related because they are scattered all over the place. Now, if you now look at this example here, it is much more organized. The business name, the name of the owner of the card, and then the address, the location, and the phone number. This way, the content is much more organized. And here we've applied the law of proximity, and now this looks so much more better than what we had here. And then with this, it's also easier to consume the information and understand what we're trying to communicate on this business card. The next principle is the principle of alignment. So we want to make sure that our items are properly aligned, especially when they're closely related, they're also aligned in the same way. So typically, it's easy to align things on the center. This is like what a lot of people do, especially in design. But sometimes you could also consider, probably this will be better if I align it on the left or on the right. And one other principle of design is around the common eye tracking. When we're reading a block of text, we always move our eyes from left to right. So when you align content to the left, it makes it easy for someone to scan through the content. From here, you can see the same content here on the left is aligned on the center, but this one on the right is aligned on the left, and is much more easier to read and understand. The next concept will be the law of repetition, the concept of repeating visual elements throughout the design to maintain a kind of consistency. And if we look at this example here, on every page we have this double lines on top and under, and every heading has the same fonts and the same size, the same color. So this is a concept that is repeated across different pages of this book. Repetition is also more than just being consistent. It's a way of unifying a design with conscious effort. And then the concept, when you're repeating elements, it kind of brings everything together. So if we look at this example here, there's a lot of repetition, even though the designs are varied, but there's this consistency that you can see around each of the images that you have here. Last, we look at contrast. If items do not belong to the same unit, you make them different. So with the concept of contrast, we can create a visual difference. And when we have this visual difference, it's now easy for the eyes to separate different parts of the design. So now, if we look at this example here, we have some information as text, and then then multiple lines that divide each line of text. But now when we apply contrast to it, we can then see that there's some differences. The title has a heading and has a thick line, and then at the bottom we have text under has a more thin line that demarcates every line of text, and then at the bottom we also have another line. But we also notice that the the line at the top is thicker than the line at the bottom. This use of contrast now separates different parts of the design. You can now see the top clearly, the main content clearly, and then the bottom clearly. This is the idea behind applying contrast to your designs. Like for example, if you also look at these pages here, the applied contrast, like if you look at the one on the left, it's more plain, but the one on the right has more contrast in that we have a big picture of the image here, and then we have this big background for the block of text. This contrast makes the design much more relatable, much more readable, much more understandable. All these principles could summarize them as CRAP, contrast, make things different so that, make different things look different so that, everything does not just look the same. Repetition, where we repeat visual elements to create some kind of consistency and unity throughout the design. And then alignment, so every element should have like a visual connection to something, and when it's properly aligned, it's much more easier to consume that information. And then proximity, where items that are closely related are grouped together. Now we look at the Codex annotation method. So basically what this basically means is, so let's jump into Codex. So here is an example of what I did with Codex. When you find a platform, a website that you like the design, you like what you see, you want to use AI tools like Codex or any other one you have to really analyze this design to understand what makes it tick. I found this website of a design studio and I really liked what they had. So what I did was I came to Codex, I pasted it, and then I asked it this question. And then I gave it this instruction. Analyze the above website, what makes the design great? Take a complete screenshot of the website and add annotations to the image that breaks down why the design works. So it took its time and then gave me a breakdown of why the design works. So now let me open the image so that we could see it in detail. Codex took an entire screenshot of the website and then annotated different parts of it to show me why and how this design is great. First of all, at the top, there is a clear promise. There's a clear promise outcome first. The website makes sense. It's easy to repeat and easy to remember. There's an animation here that kind of blocked the hero section while it was taking the screenshot. So let's just ignore this. And then the second annotation here is the visual system, the dotted frames, that creates a rule set, instead of like decorations. And the next thing it annotated here was proof. So the platform had like a case studies tiles that show the different range of work that they've done in the past. They also communicated their methods, how they do strategy and then turn that into designs, and then turning like the abstract into like a sequence of process that people can learn about how they work. Using these visuals to communicate their mission and their vision, which is craft, honesty, and partnership. So, Codex was able to do a deep analysis of this side, what makes it tick, and then annotated it properly. So now I can do a deep dive of this page and apply some of these principles into my own design work. So it also gave me a summary of why the design works. And yeah, again, this is something that's really good. And then this way I can build up my taste. In summary, if you want to improve our design taste, Can't Unsee.space, you go there, you try the exercises to improve how you can see things that work and things that don't work. It's a kind of an A/B design test. A/B design test where you can see different things side by side and then you play with it. Instead of just passively reading about design principles, you could actually see them in action this way. By the end of this, you're able to see designs like a pro. You're able to spot contrast issues. You're able to see things that are misaligned. You're able to see and feel when things that should be in proximity are and when they are not. And you're also able to recognize repetitions of design patterns across whatever designs. So this pattern recognition, this is taste. This is what having an eye for design means. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and to share. I'll be posting in the comments the links to Can't Unsee and the link to the article. See you in my next video. Bye.